Hello, friends, and welcome back to r/ProRevenge. Let's start our video with a story in which our OP received a written apology at the end of the story. But before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to our channel if you're new here and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video every single day. Here we go. Hilux jerk held accountable. So a few years ago, I looked after a building where we'd installed EV chargers. At the time, we were one of the first companies in New Zealand to roll out EV charging stations at all our buildings. It was expensive and a big job, but we were proud of our work. So one day, I get told a 4-month-old charger lead had been damaged. CCTV footage showed some jerk had parked in the designated EV spot and put the lead under the bonnet of his Toyota Hilux. Thing is, the vehicle was sign-written. I lost my temper when I found out it'd take 2 weeks to get a replacement and an electrician to replace. I sent the invoices to the company with a picture of their employee vandalizing our property. His company was pissed. They contacted us and offered to pay the bill, and a few days later, a Toyota Prius rolls up and a grumpy-looking guy hops out carrying a letter. It's an apology letter. Apparently, upon receiving the pictures, the company felt their employee didn't need the Hilux and got him a different vehicle to teach him a lesson. I don't care what you think of EVs, don't break my gear to express your opinion. And our second story. Entitled mom gets angry at a pesticide treatment she asked for. Backstory. So I work for a company that treats mosquitoes. Here's how a treatment begins. We're given a schedule for customers we need to treat, we arrive at a customer's house, then we call the next customer to tell them that we'll be at their property in a few minutes. After that, we start treating the house we're at. Every customer is treated every 21 days, and if they still have mosquitoes after we treat them on their recurring schedule, we'll do something called a respray, which essentially is where we come back to the property to treat again with a stronger chemical. Sometimes customers live right next to each other and will be treated on the same day. But also, sometimes they live next to each other and aren't treated the same day. And whenever this happens, a neighbor/customer will see us treating one house and decide to call in and ask for a respray, because in their mind, we go to whoever calls in. So that'll mean they'll be treated right then and there, right? Wrong. If they call in for a respray, they'll be scheduled for another day, even if they're right next to us. This is where our story begins. So I'm out treating and our office gets a call from the house right next to the one I'm treating. We'll call the office person, coworker, C. C. Hi, this is company name. How may I help you today? Entitled mom. Hi, I was wondering if you guys can come do a respray today. Me and my little boy are going to get eaten alive and it's miserable. Thanks. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I think we can squeeze you in for tomorrow or Monday. Does that sound all right? No, I asked to be treated today. I will be treated today. I understand, but we can't get you in today. It's already 12:30. I think I can get a treatment for you tomorrow. That's the earliest we can get you onto the schedule. Is that all right? Do you even listen? I said I want to be treated today. T-O-D-A-Y. I see you guys at my neighbor's house. Why can't you just stop by and treat my house for mosquitoes? Me and my little boy are getting eaten alive. Don't you understand? My coworker suddenly realizes that EM is not having mosquito problems and just wants to be treated because we're next door. Okay, ma'am, can you please calm down? No, I will be treated today, and that's final. Ma'am, I understand your Obviously you don't. My little boy is suffering. If we treat you today, our other customers will be treated an hour later than they should be. At this time, I still had 7 more customers. It's extremely inconvenient. So can you please be patient? Because these people have been waiting to get treated too. How dare you? I deserve to go first because I'm a mother, and I'm tired of my little boy screaming in pain. I'm sorry to hear that. So you're scheduled for a respray tomorrow. I suggest you and your child stay inside so you don't get bit. Fine. It's people like you who make everyone miserable. I hope you can sleep tonight knowing you caused my precious boy pain. Have a good night. They hang up. Now, I wish it ended there. Unfortunately, she was on my schedule for the next day, so the next day I'm spraying and I arrive at my customers. I get ready to call the next one to let them know I'd be there soon. Lo and behold, my next customer was EM. Me. Hi, this is OP with company name. I was just calling to let you know that I'll be at your property in approximately 30 minutes. So if you could just make sure all your pets and children are inside and your windows are clear. You guys can't come this late without notice. Note it was 1 o'clock, and the day before we come to treat, they receive an email and a call. Not only that, but 15 minutes before we even start heading their way. So there's plenty of notice. I'm sorry about that, but you should have received an email. Well, we have people over anyways. Besides, I asked you guys to come out yesterday because me and my precious boy were getting eaten alive. Well, we have schedules for a reason. Once they're made, we can't change them once they're made. I'm sorry, would you like me to come treat? No, my child is miserable already. Don't make it worse. How would helping your situation make it worse? Because you won't do a good job anyways. Okay, well, would you like to reschedule? No, you people are too toxic anyways to be around my child, letting us suffer with these miserable mosquitoes. I will not reschedule. Okay, perfect. Resprays are free for a customer, so when we do them, it's a waste of money. You don't care we're suffering? I'd come spray, but it was your choice to have me not come out, so have a good day. Good luck sleeping knowing you caused my boy to suffer. Goodbye. And I hang up. After that, the lady just kept doing her recurring treatments, so if we were so toxic and we didn't do a good job, why did she keep treating with us? I swear, the things these people will do to get what they want. And our last story. I knocked the divisional manager off his pedestal. I work for a large global IT company. On my team, we're part of a larger extended team and an even larger still divisional team. The manager of this division is called Raj. He's based in the States and is what many would call the poster boy definition of a corporate suck-up. According to him, he's in constant video chats with the CEO and has a lot of face-to-face interaction with him. He also appears on much of our division's promotional emails and photographic material, so he's a company-wide recognized person. As for me, I'm a trench-working techie from Scotland. My direct manager is always happy with my performance, and I'm somewhat known in our extended team, but not so much in the divisional team. Until this event, which was a while before the COVID outbreak, although I was aware of Raj and his reputation, I had never worked with him directly. I got invited to a company-wide collaboration event in America, which we usually use for technical training and innovation discussion. We got there, and there were some initial social events and meet and greets. Raj was amongst the group, and his general demeanor seemed appropriate for the reputation which followed him. We went into the first day bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I was assigned to a group of 10 people to work on a problem with some coding. All was going well until we came to do some group presentations. For our group, a young woman named Natalie was speaking for our results. It all seemed to go okay, but after the session was over, Raj asked to see Natalie out in the hall. From inside the room, we could hear Raj literally screaming at her. Many offensive slurs were used, and we could hear banging on the walls as well. Natalie returned to the room a sobbing mess, much to the shock of everyone. Raj returned as if nothing had happened. This pattern continued over the course of the week. Raj would single out people for these one-on-one performance critiques. He would go into detail about how work was substandard and how they needed to improve, all while taking group photos for corporate comms for the higher-ups, orchestrating shots to make us all look like one big happy family. I spoke to some of my own team back home about this in my downtime, and it does turn out that this has always been rumored behavior for him. Just no one ever knew someone who'd experienced this before. I don't know what the job culture is like for this role in a place like America, but here we have dignity at work regulations. Performance criticism is fine, but not when you're engaging in ritualistic humiliation of your employees. I knew exactly what I was going to do. For the next few days, I made sure that I was delivering more presentations than anyone else and really making an effort to attract attention. As hoped, he asked me for a chat and pulled me into the hall. He didn't wait for the door to close before starting his rant. Experiencing it firsthand was interesting. He claimed I had no idea what I was talking about, even though it had likely been about 20 years since he did any technical work himself. He was vile, shouting and spitting in my face. I also learned what the banging noises were. He'd punch doors and slam his hands on the wall near me as if to try and intimidate me. I was prepared mentally, though, and just smiled and nodded during the entire rant. He looked angry that I was reacting this way, and by the end of it, I thought he was legitimately going to burst a blood vessel. When he was finished, I asked him if he was done. He told me to get out of his sight, and that's when I did it. I gave him a Glasgow kiss. For those unfamiliar, it's a headbutt, and it's not the first headbutt I've delivered in my life, having been brought up near Glasgow. He collapsed to the floor in shock, holding his nose, which didn't bleed, unfortunately, looking up at me. I leaned down, and in my most Glaswegian accent, I whispered to him, "If you ever disrespect me or my colleagues again, I'll kick the utter F out of you next time." I went back in the room, while he did not. Inevitably, I got the HR call. Raj was in the room as well, and I could see he had 2 black eyes as a result of the headbutt. I was asked to explain myself, and I told the truth mostly. I explained about his abusive behavior, but focused specifically on the hand slamming and how it had been intimidating me. It hadn't really, but I massively played up this aspect of the encounter. I described the headbutt as a reaction when he slammed the wall right next to my head with his hands. I wasn't sure what story he'd told them, but I was sent away after this. I ultimately ended up with a disciplinary on my record, but no further consequences. Other team members were interviewed over the next few days, and once the pattern of abuse was established, Raj was terminated from the company. The most satisfying part of this was the day after, when everyone on the course went out for dinner. Natalie insisted that he stand next to her for the division group photograph, black eyes and all. I have to think that photograph contributed to his downfall in some way. Epic. And exactly how slime like that needs to be handled. Sometimes violence, elegantly applied with precision, is exactly what's needed. Hey guys, thank you all for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.